The unfortunate thing is that we decided not to tell anybody the truth, not even his father. We didn't tell our neighbors, we didn't tell our friends. We told everybody he had been in a car accident. And keeping that inside didn't help John, it didn't help me, and it didn't help the kids. I got my first sales job with Xerox and then with AT&T. And then when I had my children, or my first daughter, I thought, what can I do from home? And I started doing a childcare business in my home. It was such a good business. I enjoyed it so much that I wrote a book called Start Your Own At-Home Childcare Business that was actually published by Doubleday. And I just enjoyed speaking about childcare. I enjoyed doing it, and that led to a career in writing. Life was really grand. I mean, John and I had a happy marriage. We had 4 kids. When people used to talk about alcoholism or drug addiction or problems, I really just didn't even know what other people were talking about. So everything that we knew as this comfortable, fun, happy lifestyle changed dramatically. So he was getting discouraged, and I think I was down in the basement, and I just wrote a poem. And it was A Team of Angels for the Overwhelmed. And I don't know where the word overwhelmed came from, except I guess that's how I was feeling. I never gave a hoot about angels, and I wasn't really a religious type of person. But I wrote, I need a team of angels, Lord. I don't think one will do. Please send me all the help from high for what I'm going through. And I guess the entrepreneur in me kicked in, because I went and made 100 copies of it at Office Max. And I made 100 gold safety pins with 3 little gold charms of angels. I attached it to this piece of paper, and I gave it to other friends in the neighborhood and other people that were going through tough times. That these have gone to parents of murdered children, they've gone to Iraq, they've gone to Walter Reed, they've gone to Brooke Army Medical Center. They've touched so many lives, but I think it was my way of coping with what was going on with John, and I didn't know that things were gonna get worse. He always said, Trish, it was an aberration. I was just stressed out. I never want to talk about it. It's too painful. So we just buried it for 8 years as a family. All of a sudden, one day, 2 years ago, John said, I want to write a book. That day we sat for about 3 hours, and they wanted to know everything about what Dad was thinking, and that's how we wrote the book, No More Secrets.
Instead of their family folding, Tricia worked through it through donating with her pins, but they decided to speak together, and they came through this to help others.
Sharing our story now about depression, I think, is really where my heart is right now. We want to help people by saying these are all the signs of depression that we missed. And this really didn't have to happen to our family. If I had known this probably wouldn't have happened. But I know that if I hadn't had those angel pins as a project and as comfort, and also to see that other people had really serious problems too, I wouldn't be in the place that I am now. I think we went through some of those tough times. It was hard, it was very hard, but I think those angels helped me, and they helped a lot of other people.
The idea that I feel that I am really pushing forward in the world is that there's a new way to age. And the new way to age is to be engaged and to connect with other people and to really make a difference in a substantive way. I was actually trained to write for the theater and film and television, and did that. I started writing for the theater in 1978. I had an off-Broadway play called Family Business that ran for a year. And so I was doing work in Hollywood and in New York, writing for television series, writing for films, feature films, and actually very much enjoying that. So that was really what I did it the first half of my life. Started having more free time, and I thought to myself, well, what would I like to do with that free time? And I started volunteering here in Philadelphia, and really found that what I was doing as a volunteer was very meaningful to me, and I really felt that this was a way of making a contribution different from what my career was, which was, entertaining people. I found one job I felt had my name on it, and it said, get baby boomers in Philadelphia to volunteer for nonprofits, which at that time, which was 6 years ago, was what the heart of coming of age was and remains. We help older adults, people age 50 and over, figure out what their next steps are going to be. What are they going to do with the rest of their lives? And for a lot of people, that can mean 20, 30 years of really being involved in society, involved in helping to strengthen the community, or involved in learning something new. But it's an involvement, an engagement. Appreciation that everybody can have for each other and where they are in the chronology. In terms of the numbers of people that we've now touched, either through the nonprofits or they're reaching out, it's close to 50,000 folk. Since we've started here in Philadelphia, we've received some fairly major funding to replicate what we're doing all over the country.
I think Dick serves as an inspiration to other people as they think about what they're going to do in the next phase of life. He moved from one career to another, and he's enjoying himself. He's feeling a sense of efficacy. He's feeling like he's really making a difference in the world, and so he's an inspiration to everyone in this job.
I really feel that I'm getting to use all the skills that I was using in my previous career, but in a totally different way. Like Gloria Steinem said, this is what 40 looks like, so I feel like this is what 63 is, and it's very exciting.
Literally had one of those epiphany moments where I was lying on the table getting, and the machines were whirring around me, and I said, okay, get me through this and I'm gonna quit the job and I'll start being an art dealer, which is what I've always wanted to do. I was always interested in art and the art world business and was a collector. But to be realistic and keep things going, I sold real estate for 10 years in Philadelphia, loved doing it. While I was working at the University of Pennsylvania, I developed a health problem that was very serious. And it was a wake-up call to me, and I said to myself, if you get through this, you're gonna leave what you're doing now and you're gonna jump in and start the art business, because it's something I knew I had always wanted to do, and I figured now or never. And essentially it was that simple. I mean, it was just this one moment. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And so that's what I did. Our early business model was based on our idea of a 19th century French department store, kind of carriage trade of the 19th century. And what we wanted to do was combine that with not just a pure art gallery business, which we do take the art very, very seriously, but so many times art galleries will have a side business, usually picture framing or something like that, to help support them. That was not something that we had any interest in at all. So we decided, instead of doing that, to have a showcase for artists who are just starting out or haven't got a big following yet. And because we have an establishment here, we're able to lend them some of the credibility that we have developed by having our customer base.
I saw her collecting this art, building toward this idea, but working in careers that were completely different. And then to take this step and to put her own resources significantly on the line to do this, and to be giving so generously to everyone around her while she was doing it, I found that so incredibly inspirational.
It was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I mean, I really felt light, literally lighter, because I was moving in a direction that I wanted to go in for a really long time. I finally felt like all my efforts were accomplishing something for myself rather than for some corporate entity. And it was just really, really gratifying to be out there doing something that was fun and that I really was excited about getting up every morning to do.